I need to be honest with you. There is a secret world of prepper shopping that nobody talks about, and I'm about to blow the lid off 12 sources where I've been buying emergency food for a fraction of what everyone else pays. While most preppers are lining up at Costco paying premium prices, I'm walking out of places they have never even considered with the same food for 60% less. The place I'm revealing at number 8 has saved me over 2 grand in the last year alone. Number 12 is going to make you angry when you realize how much money you have wasted. Here's the thing nobody wants to admit in the prepping community. We all shop at the same 5 stores, and those stores know exactly what we want and charge us accordingly. But I stumbled into a completely different approach 3 years ago, and it has transformed how I prep. Let me show you where the smart money really goes. First up, restaurant supply stores. This one changed everything for me, and I cannot believe more preppers don't use it. I'm talking about restaurant supply stores, not the ones that require a business license, but the ones that are open to the public. Last month, I walked into a restaurant supply store for the first time in 2 years. Within 30 minutes, I had loaded my cart with 50 pounds of rice, 20 pounds of dried beans, industrial-sized containers of spices, and commercial-grade olive oil. My total was $83. That same haul at a regular grocery store would have cost me over $200. Here's what makes these places absolutely perfect for preppers. Everything is designed for volume and long-term storage. These are not cutesy consumer packages. We're talking bulk containers built to sit in restaurant storage rooms for months. The rice comes in heavy-duty bags that are already fairly airtight. The spices come in containers 10 times the size of grocery store bottles for less money. But here's the secret that took me forever to figure out. Restaurant supply stores rotate inventory based on restaurant buying patterns, not consumer panic buying. During the pandemic, when grocery stores were stripped bare, I walked into my local restaurant supply store and it was fully stocked. Why? Because restaurants were closed. They were desperate to move inventory. I bought 6 months of supplies that day for pennies on the dollar. The quality is usually higher too. Restaurants need consistent products that perform reliably. That bulk bag of flour is not going to be full of weird additives. The canned tomatoes are going to be the same every single time. Here is my shopping strategy. Go during weekday mornings when restaurants are restocking. Ask the staff what items are being discontinued or overstocked. I've gotten insane deals on perfectly good food just because a restaurant chain changed suppliers. One time I got 100 pounds of pasta for $20 because the shape was being discontinued. The pasta was perfect. It just wasn't the trendy shape anymore. I now keep a running list of what my local restaurant supply stores carry and check in monthly. The savings add up so fast that this single source has probably saved me $5,000 over 3 years. Second, ethnic grocery stores during holiday seasons. This is something I discovered completely by accident, and it's now my secret weapon. Shopping at ethnic grocery stores right after their major holidays. Here's what I mean. Every culture has big holidays where specific foods are essential. Indian stores stock up massively before Diwali. Asian markets go crazy before Lunar New Year. Middle Eastern stores load up for Ramadan. And here's the critical part. Right after those holidays, they are stuck with overstock that they need to move fast. I learned this 3 years ago when I wandered into an Indian grocery store the week after Diwali. They had towers of basmati rice, lentils, and ghee marked down by 40%. I bought 200 pounds of rice that day for less than I would pay for 50 pounds at a regular store. The quality was incredible because Indian customers demand the best rice. This was not the cheap stuff. This was aged basmati that cooks fluffy and aromatic. But the timing is everything. You have to know when these holidays happen and show up the week immediately after. For Indian stores, hit them up the week after Diwali in November. For Asian markets, go right after Lunar New Year in February. For Middle Eastern stores, check in right after Ramadan ends. The discounts are not always advertised either. You have to ask. I have built relationships with store owners. They know I buy in bulk, and they call me when they need to clear space. Last month, a Middle Eastern market called me because they had too many cases of canned chickpeas left over. I got 100 cans for $30. Do you know what canned chickpeas cost at a regular grocery store? $2 each. I paid 30 cents per can. 30. And here is something most preppers miss entirely. These stores carry shelf-stable foods that are nutritionally superior to standard prepper fare. Indian stores have every lentil variety you can imagine. Asian markets have dried mushrooms that add incredible nutrition and flavor. Middle Eastern stores have bulgur wheat, frikeh, and tahini. Most preppers have never even heard of this stuff, but it has been sustaining entire civilizations for thousands of years. My strategy now is to visit 5 different ethnic markets on a rotating schedule. I go to each one every 6 weeks and always ask what is overstocked. The diversity in my stockpile is insane compared to other preppers who just have rice and beans. Third, bakery thrift stores. This is going to sound weird, but stay with me because this has saved my family a fortune. Bakery thrift stores are outlets where major bread companies sell products that are near expiration or have cosmetic damage to the packaging. I found one near me about 2 years ago. At first I thought it was just going to be stale bread. I was completely wrong. They had everything. Bread, obviously, but also tortillas, bagels, English muffins, hot dog buns, and even some packaged snacks. The prices were absolutely insane. Loaves of bread for 50 cents, packages of tortillas for $1. Here's how this fits into prepping. I buy in bulk and immediately freeze everything. My chest freezer has a dedicated section for bread products. When I need them, I pull them out and they are perfect. But here is the genius move that most people miss. If the power goes out and your freezer is at risk, you can dehydrate that bread. Dried bread cubes last for months and can be rehydrated for stuffing, used as breadcrumbs, or eaten as is for quick calories. During a practice bug-out drill I did last year, I brought a bag of dehydrated bread cubes. We rehydrated them in soup, and they were a lifesaver for adding bulk and calories to our meals. The cost savings are massive. I calculated that I spend about $15 a month on bread products for my family of 4. Most families spend $50 to $70. That is an extra $400 a year going into other preps. And here's something I did not expect. These thrift stores often have overstock from special promotions. Around holidays, I have found specialty breads and seasonal items all at 90% off. I once bought 30 packages of hot dog buns right after the 4th of July for $10 total. I froze them, and we used them for 6 months. Fourth, buying clubs for business owners. This is a loophole that saves me thousands every year and barely anyone knows about it. Buying clubs that require a business membership like Restaurant Depot. Now you might be thinking you need a legitimate business. Not really. Here's the thing. You can register a simple sole proprietorship in most states for under $50. You do not need employees, an office, or even revenue. You just need a business name and a tax ID number. I registered a consulting business 5 years ago. It cost me $20 a year to maintain, and it gives me access to stores that have prices 30 to 50% lower than consumer warehouses. At Restaurant Depot, I buy 50-pound bags of flour for $12. The same amount at a grocery store would be $40. I get gallon jugs of olive oil for $18. A gallon at a regular store is $60. The savings are so extreme that my membership pays for itself in one shopping trip. Here's a shopping trip I did last month. 50 pounds of pinto beans for $22. 25 pounds of white rice for $11. A case of canned tomatoes, 24 cans for $16. 5 pounds of yeast for $14. My total was $90. That same cart at a consumer store would have been over $250. But here is what makes this next level for prepping. These stores cater to businesses that need reliability. They do not run out of stock easily because restaurants depend on them. During shortages while consumer stores are empty, business supply stores stay stocked because they have different supply chains. Fifth, damaged freight stores. This is one that I stumbled into by pure luck, and now I check these places monthly. Damaged freight stores, also called salvage grocery stores, are outlets that buy pallets of products from major retailers where the packaging was damaged in shipping or the boxes got dented. The product inside is perfectly fine, but it cannot be sold at regular retail. I found one about 40 minutes from my house. The first time I walked in, I thought it was going to be sketchy, like expired food or recalled items. Totally wrong. This place had name brand products, often just a few months from production with cosmetic damage only. Dented cans of vegetables for 30 cents each. Boxes of pasta with torn corners for 50 cents. Jars of peanut butter with cracked labels for $2. Here's a real example. Last time I went, I found cases of canned chicken breast. The cans were perfectly fine, but the cardboard case had water damage, so the store could not sell them normally. I got 72 cans for $40. That same amount at a grocery store would be over $200. For preppers, this is gold, because you're getting the exact same shelf-stable food that everyone else buys, just at a fraction of the cost. My entire stockpile of canned goods has probably cost me 40% of what most preppers spend. Here's what you need to know when shopping these places. Inspect everything. Check expiration dates. Avoid cans with dents on the seams or rims because those can compromise the seal. But dents on the sides or bottom are usually totally fine. Learn what damage is cosmetic versus what is a safety issue. A torn label means nothing. A swollen can means botulism risk. Big difference. Sixth, food co-ops and bulk buying groups. This changed my entire approach to prepping, and it is how I get organic high-quality food for less than conventional prices. Here is how these work. A group of people pool their money and buy directly from distributors in massive quantities, then split it up. The prices are wholesale because you are cutting out the retail markup. I joined a local co-op 3 years ago. The membership was $25 a year. Now I have access to organic grains, dried fruits, nuts, and beans at prices lower than conventional food at grocery stores. Last order, I got 25 pounds of organic brown rice for $18. The same rice at a health food store would be $60. I got 10 pounds of organic almonds for $35. At a regular store, that is $80. But here is the part that makes this incredible for preppers. You are buying directly from farms and distributors. These are the same sources that supply stores, but you are getting it at the source price. The quality is often superior because co-ops prioritize relationships with small farms and ethical producers,